Hello everyone. I had some soul searching to do before I wrote the script to this video. Because of the nature of this news story, that being that it is clearly the effect of terrorism, and it's simply that, it caused a bit of a question. Do I bring attention to this horrific incident and in doing so exalt the people responsible by giving them publicity? I did not make a video on the Christchurch shooter for that exact reason. But something about this makes me angry. There were so many factors that went into compiling this event that not talking about it, in my opinion, leaves a lot out there for speculation and conspiracy. I'm going to try very hard to avoid that and provide you with the facts as reported by the news. So again, with every topic, a healthy amount of skepticism is encouraged. But I wanted to tell you all that so that you guys can see into my head for a brief moment. Thank you for indulging me, so let's get on with the story. If you had not heard, this past Sunday was Easter Sunday, one could say the holiest of holy days for Christians and Catholics around the world. Especially with the Notre Dame fire happening last week, many Christians and Catholics may have felt an urge to go attend Sunday Mass, even if they had not been there many years, to show sympathy and solidarity to those who believe thoughts and prayers to be the literal asking of God to fix your problem. I must say, despite my departure from Roman Catholicism, I too felt this urge to attend Sunday Mass. Instead, however, I did my own thing, and that's that. Now, in regards to the news, this high influx of church attendees made for an easy target for the National Tawhid Jamaat, an Islamic extremist terrorist group who is now responsible for close to 300 deaths of Christians by suicide bombings. I woke up Sunday morning to this news. It was not a happy Easter. It was a solemn and sad one. Though in search for answers, CBS News did the best, so here is the article. Death toll from Easter Sunday terror attacks in Sri Lanka nears 300. At least 9 bombs that tore through churches and hotels in 3 Sri Lankan cities on Easter Sunday. The death toll had risen to at least 290, with more than 500 others wounded by Monday morning. Defense Minister Ruan described the coordinated blast as a terrorist attack by religious extremists. Here is what we know. At 8:45 a.m. on Sunday, bombs tore apart 3 churches and at least 3 hotels in Colombo. There was another explosion at a housing complex in Damatagoda. The U.S. Embassy in Colombo has confirmed at least 4 U.S. citizens were killed in the bombings. Sri Lankan police said 24 suspects were in custody and that the attacks appeared to have been carried out by suicide bombers. There has been no claim of responsibility, but officials say a local group working with support from an international network is suspected. Officials have suggested that there was some advanced knowledge of a terror plot in Sri Lanka and that intelligence may have been, quote, ignored. Now, the information about intelligence having been ignored will be touched on a little later, but the comment about no claim of responsibility is rather interesting. It does not follow suit with other Islamic terrorist bombings, so that has my skepticism up a little higher than usual. Not that I don't believe it was perpetrated by Muslim extremists, I'm just wondering why no claim to infamy. An official at the U.S. Embassy in Colombo, Sri Lanka, confirmed to CBS on Monday that at least 4 U.S. citizens were killed in the Easter Sunday bombing attacks. The representative said she could not give any further details due to privacy concerns and out of respect to the families. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said on Sunday that several Americans were confirmed to have been among the dead. The victims' identities have not yet been made public, one of which has been confirmed and released publicly. That name being Dieter Kowalski, an engineer for a global education product and services company. Another notable loss was that the richest man in Denmark has lost 3 children in the Sri Lanka terror attacks, his spokesperson confirmed on Monday. Anders Holst Poulsen, 46, is a fashion mogul, one of the names behind global retail giants such as ASOS and Bestseller. Jesper Stubkier, communications manager of Bestseller, confirmed to British news agency Press Association on Monday that 3 of Poulsen's 4 children were killed. I don't actually have any words for the situation. It simply is tragic, and I'm going to leave it there. But Monday afternoon, we got another explosion in Colombo. Witnesses told Reuters news agency that the explosive-laden vehicle had blown up as law enforcement officers attempted to defuse devices inside it. Police went to inspect the van Monday after people reported it had been parked near St. Anthony's Shrine, one of the churches in which dozens were killed by bombers since Sunday. They discovered 3 bombs that they tried to defuse, but the bombs detonated, sending pedestrians fleeing in panic. Unfortunately, Monday came with more bad news as it became public that the Sri Lankan government may have been warned ahead of time about this potential threat. Police Chief Pujuth Jayasundara issued an intelligence alert to top officers on April 11th, according to French news agency AFP, warning that suicide bombers from a radical Muslim group linked to the vandalization of Buddhist statues was planning to attack quote, prominent churches. While no group has claimed responsibility for the Easter attack, AFP quoted law enforcement sources as saying all 24 people arrested since the blast were suspected members of a, quote, extremist group. The sources did not specify which group, and it remained unclear whether those in custody were suspected members of the National Tawfiq Jamaat group, which was the focus of the warning issued on April 11th by Jayasundara. Now, this thought goes through everyone's mind, and the New York Times made it a headline. Sri Lanka was warned of possible attacks. Why didn't it stop them? Well, in my opinion, they simply did not have enough information. Consider this. They knew people were planning to do it. Did they know when? No. They could hazard a guess, but that wouldn't help. It may have only given you a chance. They could release information publicly, but that would not only be terribly irresponsible, but likely to cause a panic and lose the suspects. So they waited for more details, but it was too late. I certainly can blame them, oh sure. Did they do their best? I don't know, but if everyone in the chain of command wasn't informed of the info, then someone fucked up big time. But I want to leave it there. I know I did not put my thoughts in this video as much as usual, but I wanted to let the news speak for itself on this one. Tragedy is hard to cover, and I try my best to be delicate, but one thing I will condemn before I sign off is that if the politicians around the world are so afraid of the word Christians that they end up calling all those who lost their lives Easter worshippers, then we are in deeper shit than we thought.